Hello, Fuzzbomminables. This is Sydney with my manga haul for July of 2024. I'm going to be doing things a little bit differently this month. Starting with the stuff that I picked up that was older releases, not the new release sort of things, and then going on to the new releases. So mainly because I got a lot of older releases because I did go on vacation. So starting off with Viz, which is literally all of my old releases are just Viz. We've got Alice 19th, Volume 3. I think it's just Alice 19th. I'm always tempted to say Alice the 19th. Then we've got Volumes 8 through 16 of Black Cat, which was a little crazy to find, which basically means we're literally like 3 or 4 volumes from completing this series for it to sit on the shelf for another couple years until we actually get around to reading it, as all things happen in this household. Don't really have much to say as I go over each of these. I don't know much about Black Cat. Probably going to read it at some point if I have the time. Okay, that 13. Trying to make sure I don't just rush through each of these. Give them a little second to show off on the camera. 15, and then we have 16. If only I wouldn't hit my wire every time. Then we've got a single volume of Bleach, volume 57. Next, we've got a single volume of Fushigi Yugi Genbu Kaiden, volume 5. Then we've got another shoujo classic, Hanekimi, volume 12. Then we've got Hikaru no Go, volume 14. Got a weird plastic protector thing on it, but beggars can't be choosers. Then we've got yet another classic shoujo series, Nana, volume 2. Neighborhood Story's super good so far, so I'm really looking forward to reading Nana. We've also got Nana, volume 4. And then we've got Pokemon Diamond and Pearl Adventure, volume 2, which to my knowledge is a different series than Pokemon Adventures, just with a really similar naming, which kind of makes things confusing. We've got a few volumes of Yona of the Dawn with volume 4, volume 6, ta-da, volume 7, volume 8, and volume 9. We've got the final volume of Vampire Knight, volume 19, which finally completes this for us. We've got single volume, volume 5 of Children of the Whales. And then we've got a Takahashi series completed. I think this is technically the first Takahashi series we have completed at this point, which is Mermaid Saga 1 and 2. Right, now that that's out of the way, I'm going to get into the other releases. So this is going to be all new releases, starting with Viz, Shonen Jump Line with Blue Box, Volume 11. Then Don, Volume 8. Next is Dark Gathering, Volume 8. Then we've got a couple Shonen Sundays with Helk, Volume 10, and I think the next one's the last one for this series. Don't know if we're going to get the sequel license or not. I guess it all depends on the sales. Then we've got Komi Can't Communicate, Volume 30. Found out that's ending pretty soon, which is very sad. Then we've got Shoujo Beat mixed with Shonen Jump. We've got Like a Butterfly, Volume 7. Then we've got the Shonen Jump one that's kind of mixed in here, Marriage Toxin, Volume 3. Next, the Shoujo Beat is Tamon's B-Side, Volume 4. And then we have a Shonen Sunday with Yashahime, Volume 5. Then we're getting into the big vises with the Junji Ito story collection, Alley. And we've got Fist of the North Star, Volume 13. These paw pads make weird sounds on hardcovers. We've got JoJo's Bizarre Adventure Part 6, Stone Ocean, Volume 5. And then not lastly, we've got the last hardcover viz. My Name is Shingo, Volume 2, leaving off on the most brutal cliffhanger. And I really want to find out how it resolves itself, but I don't know how long I have to wait for that. Then we've got Snowball Earth, Volume 2. Lastly, for Viz, we've got Steel of the Celestial Shadows, Volume 3. Then we're getting into Seven Seas, starting with Cinderella Closet, Volume 6. Then finally another release in Daily Report About My Witch Senpai, Volume 3. The series was initially 2 volumes. Due to reader interest, it got picked back up, and we're finally getting the 3rd volume here. And then we've got the 4th volume of Delinquent Daddy and Tender Teacher. It's important to note with this series, the numbering's kind of weird. I would probably check manga updates to figure out how the numbering works exactly, because this is volume 4, but if you look inside, it's volume 2. It's because I think this is like a second series, the second volume of a second series. It's a little bit odd. I do kind of wish the English localization did a better job of representing just like the different arcs or something. I don't know. It feels like it's a little bit weird to understand. Then we've got Dragon Goes House Hunting, Volume 10, and this is the final volume in this series. Then we've got His Majesty, the Demon King's Housekeeper, Volume 6. Still waiting for more people to read that. Then we've got the final volume of Momo, the Blood Taker, Volume 9. Then we've got No Longer Allowed in Another World, Volume 6. And lastly, for standard size 7Cs, we've got The Villainess Who Has Been Killed 108 Times, She Remembers Everything, Volume 3. And I think there's one more volume in the manga, because the manga got, from what I can assume, cancelled. Only at 4 volumes. Then we've got A Stepmother's Marchen, Volume 4. And lastly, for 7Cs, we have got the final volume of Homunculus by Hideo Yamamoto, volumes 9 to 10. All right. Next, I'm going to get into some of the series that only had like a couple releases, starting with... Actually, these are not in the right stack. All 3 of these are actually legacy releases, or releases that came out previously that I'm just now picking up. I think I just didn't put them in the right stack. We've got Eureka 7, Volume 2. We've got Eureka 7, Volume 3. And then we've got My Little Monster, Volume 3. Okay, now we're getting into the publishers we didn't have a lot of releases from, starting with Square Enix. We only had 2 volumes from them. We had Soul Eater, Volume 15, in the Perfect Edition. And then we had Soul Eater Not in the Perfect Edition, Volume 1. We also have The Ice Sky and the Cool Girl, Volume 5 from Square Enix. And we've got a couple volumes from Net Comics. We've got The First Night with the Duke, Volumes 4 and 5. This release cycle is a little bit weird for this series, so I'm not really sure which of these, if both of these are new releases, or if one of them's a little older. Anyways, then let's get into some that are a bit more scattershot. We've got Villainess Level 99, Volume 2. Funny story, I didn't realize I didn't have Volume 2 till I read Volume 3, and then like a couple weeks later, looked on the shelf to put it up and then realized I don't have the second one. So that was a fun revelation. Then we've got Tales of the Tendo Family, Volume 2. Then from Kuma, we've got a single volume with Tarano-kun and Kumazaki-kun. And from Dark Horse, we've got a couple. I think I'll save that towards the end, though. So with Tokyo Pop, we've got one volume, Volume 7, of If My Favorite Pop Idol Made to the Budokan, I Would Die. Still very upset with Tokyo Pop for what they did to Sengoku Yoko, but I can't exactly stop buying one of my favorite series. I'll just be more conservative with getting excited about their releases, since they can just do that at any time. Those who don't know, they licensed Sengoku Yoko up until the end of the first major arc, and then said they have no plans to license the rest of the series. They also did kind of imply that it seems like if it does well enough, they might, but I don't really trust the word of a company like that, especially with Tokyo Pop's reputation of not completing series. Anyways, we've got one volume from Udon, which is Volume 5 of Team Phoenix, which is the final volume of this series. We've got one volume from Yen Press, which is Delicious in Dungeon, Volume 14, the final volume of this series. And we've got one volume from Ablaze with Ganable, Volume 1. Then we're getting into Kodansha releases, starting with Kaina of the Great Snow Sea, Volume 1. In the Clear Moonlit Dusk, Volume 7. We've got My Noisy Roommate, The Roof Over My Head Comes with Monsters and a Hottie, Volume 1. We've got Nina, the Starry Bride, Volume 5. Then there is Rent a Girlfriend, Volume 25. Then we've got the final volume of Shonen Note was last month. This one kind of got missed somehow. We have Shonen Note Volume 7. And then we've got the final volume, I think. Yeah, the final volume of Super Morningstar, Volume 4. And then we've got 2 volumes from Dark Horse, starting with the tiny one, which is Cat Gamer, Volume 5. And then we have the literal Lovecraftian horror, the hardcover of H.P. Lovecraft's And the Mountains of Madness, the deluxe edition by Gotanabe, in this gorgeous, giant, shiny thing. But yeah, I'll end the video off on that one. That's all that I picked up in July of 2024. It was a heavy month for releases. A heavy month for picking up old releases, since I was in vacation mode. And when you're in vacation mode, you just kind of have to spend money on things. If you have the money, of course. Your brain just kind of shuts down the limiters of, oh, I should be responsible with purchases, and decides, no, I'm going to buy everything. But anyways, I will talk to y'all in a couple weeks for my reading log of July, so I look forward to seeing y'all then. Until then, stay blessed and don't be a hater. That was really cringe.